Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. For this video, I'm going to explain to you guys how I lost $500,000, and no, it is not clickbait. I'm going to show you some of my gains and losses since 2017, and by the end of this video, I want you guys to see the mistakes that I made and hopefully you don't make the same. Now, although this video is just about the main loss, there was actually hundreds of thousands lost along the way in missed profits that I could have made. I believe we are currently in the largest bull cycle ever, and I hope from this video you take away any mistakes that I made and improve on them, and hopefully you don't make the same and don't get stuck bag holding. And over the next 12 videos, I'm going to be giving away one seed phrase per video, so make sure you watch this video until the end so you can find them all, compile it, and hopefully you are the one that unlocks the wallet. So make sure you leave a like, comment, and let me know what you guys want to see next. Alright, let's head over to my desk behind me, and I'm going to show you guys some of the gains and losses and some mistakes that I may have made along the way, as well as why I continue to hold a specific token that I lost $500,000 on. So let's go. Alright, as we run through this video, I really wanted to share the 2017 tokens that I was in and all the lessons I learned as I went on, and what projects did do well and which projects may do well in this bull run. If you've never experienced a bull cycle before, this video may help you a lot, and maybe perhaps even see an insight into what may possibly happen in the future. Now, for those that don't know, cryptocurrency tends to follow a certain cycle. Based on the data and charts that I've seen in the past, I think it's a 4-year cycle. Currently we're in a bull market, and what tends to happen after Bitcoin and Ethereum pump, within these cycles they tend to follow certain stages. So what happens is high caps tend to pump first, then you have the mid caps, and then you have the low cap. People that tend to understand this are the best traders and the most profitable. So what it essentially means is, if you look over here, you'd see the market cap here, which is Bitcoin, and then after that the mid caps will pump. Well, right now we're in a bull market, so everything looks insane and there's a couple billion, but usually you'd say a couple 100 million market cap, maybe about 500 to a couple billion. And then after that you have low caps and then micro caps. In my experience, I found that micro caps is the most profitable. Of course, in this run it's been a bit different. If you caught the bottom, you've pretty much made a 10x in Ethereum and in Bitcoin. If you caught, I think it was last year's March. Since 2017, I bought a lot of tokens. So the people that remember, you had stuff like Ether Delta. Ether Delta was a decentralized exchange. It wasn't as user friendly as you have Uniswap right now. You just click to buy. Before it was a bit more manual, and if you made a mistake of inputting the incorrect decimal place, it essentially meant lose thousands. I remember I once saw someone lose 100 Ethereum by inputting the wrong thing. I think they bought like one token, but they lost 100 ETH. So in 2017, those tokens like SPHTX. So there used to be a trend where you would have to find tokens before they listed, even on these sort of search directories. For the people that remember, listing on CoinMarketCap was almost the equivalent of listing on like Coinbase at one point. Of course, not exactly the same, but what I mean is, if you caught a token that was just created, you could get like a 50x by the time it went on CoinMarketCap in any sort of reputable exchange, even the tiniest one. SPHTX and a couple other ones, you would find it on Ether Delta. Ether Delta, as I mentioned, was a DEX. If you see these insane pumps, you would see they started off quite small. Now, this is upon listing, so when it went on CoinGecko, for example, I'm pretty sure these prices were a lot lower, and then you can see they would pump up to, like, for this case it would be $1.55, and now it's died off. So I'm one of the bag holders of this. I'm pretty sure I sold this for pennies. I don't think I own any more. But same cycle, they all follow like these massive pumps, and what tends to happen for these pumps is Bitcoin pumps first, and then money flows into altcoins, microcaps. This is where you can make the 100x, the 1000x, these insane numbers, but you also run the same sort of risk for volatility. So make sure you don't gamble with this if you don't have an appetite for it, because you can see you could have been essentially a multi-millionaire at this point, with the volume's almost 70 million, and now it's worth like pretty much nothing. Another one of these was Genesis Vision. I remember this was big at one point. I mean, this one, it looks good when you're here. Right here, the ROI still looks fairly decent, I guess. But when you take it to the max and see what it started at, like these prices, where the current price is right now, you'd find it on stuff like Ether Delta, then you'd have a pump to $30, $40. For the people that do Uniswap trading, there was an opportunity exactly like this, which was finding tokens on these Telegram groups. A lot of them were scams. I know for the people that were gamblers, you would have lost hundreds of thousands, but also made hundreds of thousands to millions. And the smart people would go into these tokens early. So I made up my 2017 losses, and I'm going to go through the cycle of where I actually lost my tokens, because I actually owned a lot of BNB, I owned a lot of Zilliqa. In 2017, I think I was at university at the time, I only put in a couple thousand, maybe, if that. I think there was another one called Car Vertical, where essentially you had these massive pumps I didn't sell. I continued to be a bag holder and essentially lost all my gains. If you don't remember me from my YouTube channel, I saved up from all of my ad revenue earnings. I deposited several Bitcoin. Essentially, I converted it to something called Bolt, and Bolt essentially lost me all of it. You can see here, I bought the peak before it crashed down. So I think I bought actually at 3 cents here, and I rode it all the way down, I think around 30,000, and I sold for about 2,000. So it was a massive loss. For me, the way I made it all back is flipping. The projects that last, it's not the little ones like SPHTX, OCN, GVT, ARN with no fundamentals. This bull run, I'm playing it entirely different. I'll have a speculative stack where it will be low liquidity tokens trying to flip it, and then I have a long haul bag which I'll be holding with the strongest fundamentals. Big loss, which I'm about to explain to you guys. So this is what essentially happened. Although it is a loss, it was not taking profit, so it was more of a hit to my ROI. Now Props is my largest holding and has been. I've been purchasing since it was under a cent OTC. It's also been my largest loss. So I'm going to show you guys some screenshots. I won't show my exact holdings. However, I'll show you the chart of my holdings because I have a lot of people trying to track wallets. There's a lot of weirdos in the cryptosphere, as I'm sure you guys have noticed already in the comments. Make sure you know it's the official me. There's going to be a lot of copies coming in. There's going to be a lot of people messaging you pretending to be me. I will never ask you for money. I'll never try do one-to-one lessons or anything or tell you to send me Ethereum. Don't do it, okay? From my low, I had a 15x at one point. Now, I didn't take profit. That is the biggest thing. Looking at the window of opportunity, it was very small. It was about 14 cents, and that was the peak of my portfolio. This is when I was seeing Lambos in my head, left, right, retiring my parents. In the morning I woke up, it took a massive dip. Now, am I hurt? No. I actually genuinely don't feel nothing. The reason for that is because I don't think I'm delusional. I'm going to run through everything. And this is not sponsored by the project. If I ever do sponsors on this channel, I will always disclose sponsorships. I'm going to wait this out for the long run. Looking at STX, who was the only other Reg A token, 1.2 billion market cap. And looking at it launching at 40 cents, which I think was near its ICO, it dumped to 8 cents. And then it hit $1.22 now. I think Props has a long way to go with some nice marketing, of course. All it takes is some larger influencers to speak about it, and this will take off like a rocket overnight because the fundamentals are all there. So for people that don't know about Props, it's a utility token that has an ecosystem for as many apps as possible. Props project is essentially a token that was created by the founder of Unow. It's a reward token with stuff like staking and governance coming out. Unow was the first app to be onboarded. For those that don't know, Unow has millions upon millions of registered users. Then you had Camfrog, Paltalk, Listia, and now Tega. Now, for those that also don't know, Rumi has been announced and dating.com. This is just the beginning. Looking at the metrics, this kind of breaks it down to you. So the daily inflation rate is counter-inflationary because it reduces over 10 years. So you can see these live tokens being earned, and you can see they're almost negligible. Now, most of these platforms require verification for you to withdraw these tokens. So majority of these tokens are always going to be kept in-app. That means the circulating supply is actually far lower than it appears. The minted supply is 677 million. Most of that I think is in the treasury. Now, Union Square Ventures is one of the most reputable veteran VCs in the world, and they actually own an 8% stake in Coinbase. So to have that sort of backing and them being the main holder of Props, there's a lot of incentives for it to do well. You know they're long holders because they held Coinbase for 8 years. And have been supporting Ahmadi, who's a part of Unow since the beginning of Unow. Essentially, they're one of the largest stakeholders for Unow. There's not many tokens in the whole of the cryptosphere with sort of utility like this. The closest one that I can think of is Bat Token, and that's basically just for Brave browser, if I'm not mistaken. Now, Unow's newest addition is Tega. Now, Tega can be implemented to as many websites as it wants. It has the incentive and utility that Brave browser would have because Tega can essentially join as many websites as possible. And for those that don't know, Bat is ranked 76, almost at $1 billion market cap. Now, when you put that together with Props' market cap, it's 13 million, and even that is inflated. The reason for that is the circulating supply looks a lot larger than it is because of the GSR tokens. So you might be wondering, what is GSR and what do you mean by GSR tokens? So GSR is one of the most reputable market makers in the world. Now, other projects that use it is Blockstack, and I recently found out, I think it's Suku. Suku uses it as well. Now, GSR, I think, have loaned about 70 million tokens, and within a 12-month contract, they have to return those tokens. You can see it here. Now, this is the exciting part about all of this because these tokens are being pushed into exchanges, and I think essentially, this is speculative, by the way, but I think this is what reduced the price initially. And there's a pattern within all the projects that I've seen have implemented GSR. When Suku first launched, when you go to the max here on CoinGecko, you would see it launched at 43 cents, right? And then it had a gradual decline, about 5 cents, I'd say, is the dip here. And over the span of about 8 months, it has started to increase back to 30 cents. I thought, is there a pattern here? So Blockstack is another one. They listed at 37 cents, dumped all the way to 8 cents. Now it's $1.20 on the 7th of March, and GSR is the market maker for this project. Props, when you go on the maximum over here is about 60 cents, and then they had a massive drop when the actual bear market came alive, which was about 2 cents here. I've accumulated across the whole span of all of this. I even had some at 1 cent if I'm not mistaken. You can see the tokens move out about 39 days ago, reached about 14 cents, right? And then you see this massive decline down to 7 cents, and then it continues to go down, almost following the same pattern as Blockstack. It follows the same pattern as Suku, and you can see this gradual, this level here where I guess there's accumulation, because I've seen some wallets purchase almost 3 million tokens and nothing has moved. What I believe by the end of this year is that we're going to see a massive increase. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say this is the next 100x, but I genuinely believe this. I believe this market cap is a joke, and I'll tell you why. Props has a sidechain with Algorand. Algorand is an 863 million market cap project, right? The sidechain makes up 80% of Algorand's transaction volume. So these guys are almost worth $1 billion, and Props is worth 14 million when all the utility comes from this project. Now you put one and one together, does that make sense to you? Props project is the only SEC regulated token in the world right now. Now what does that mean? That means they can onboard any US company, multi-million revenue companies. So when you go through the roadmap right here, so the strategic financing round that happened in 2020, Union Square Ventures led that as well. And Spice VC was one of the buyers, GSR investing. So GSR paid 7 cents and the current price is under 7 cents. Does that make any sense? Union Square Ventures, who are worth billions, paid 7 cents less than a year ago, and they led the round. Does that make sense for the price to be where it's at? So for me, the price being under strategic round and under ICO just lets me know the potential is huge. They also announced a partnership with Dating.com. Dating.com has almost 15 apps, and they also had a recent financing round where they're going to focus on niche specific apps. So they have a lot of money to spend launching these apps, and who's going to be doing the reward tokens? It's going to be Props. So Props is going to benefit from that marketing expenditure as well, of these new apps launching and the onboarding of these people. So the users are going to increase exponentially. Looking at already 8.5 million unique token users is insane. Chris Dixon is invested, who was on the board of directors at Coinbase. Another connection to Coinbase is they are on Coinbase custody, plus a firm that is essentially one of the largest stakeholders in Coinbase. Owning an 8% stake in Coinbase is Union Square Ventures, which is the largest backer for Props. So looking at all these notable investors, you have Venrock, Z Ventures, Comcast Ventures, so many veteran VCs behind this. And the fact that Union Square Ventures led a new 2020 strategic round to all of these investors, Algorand, and there's other crazy investments. So you have Casey Neistat here. Casey Neistat has 12.3 million subscribers. Philip DeFranco is another one with 6.3 million subscribers. So the ecosystem and the backing is very, very strong. When retail is booming and you have the actual microcaps bursting, if these guys even speak about it or people see the backing, as you guys know, it's becoming very popular right now to be in cryptocurrency. Now, when money flows out into altcoins eventually, which people will discover it one way or another, when retail come in, they don't care, they just buy. Props having a backstory with some marketing, could you imagine where it would be from 14 million market cap? I mean, I just showed you guys pretty much a dead project, GVT from 2017 essentially, with a higher market cap than Props, with 8.5 million unique users, with more apps coming on, with Dating.com, with 15 apps on board. The potential is insane.
You said it so well that I can understand my if the proper.
As I'm talking about this, my friend's literally buying more Props. Are you actually doing that? I'm dying. He's FOMOing in, but I think I'm not being delusional. We have OKEX, we have Gate, Uniswap, Qcoin. That is a decent start. Now, I have seen in the chat that they are exploring other exchanges. Of course, I would love Binance and Huobi. That would be the dream. And I feel like I found the connection. So you can see in the venture round, you have Props here for AU21 Capital. Now, AU21 Capital has team members. One of them is Kenzie Wang, who's an advisor for Props. Now, read this with me, okay? A fund dedicated to backing the most brilliant minds in the blockchain space, such as Tron, Current, Props, Open Garden, Metaverse, Neo, Quantum, Binance, Huobi, and Gate. Now, where is Props currently listed on? Gate. This person is also a general manager for Huobi, one of the largest cryptocurrency exchanges in the world. Now, I find it hard that a man with this much knowledge, Kenzie Wang, is just gonna advise Gate. He's also a general manager for Huobi and Binance. To me, that just says it's a matter of time before it goes on there. And we know this is possible because Blockstack, which is another Reg A token listed on Binance initially. So we know Binance is possible and so is Huobi. Now this is speculative, of course, but seeing investors such as Union Square Ventures that have such a large network leading the actual raises, are they going to settle for this price to be under 7 cents? It doesn't make sense to me. Now CoinList is the place where the raise happened. You can even see Algorand, Blockstack, Filecoin. Some of these large projects are billion market cap tokens. December 2017 is when the raise happened, and it's one of the most undervalued projects on CoinList. Just search the ROIs for some of these projects and you'll see the potential in that regards. I guess we will find out a year from now whether I'm delusional or not. I'm holding out for the long run, but I see this as one of the most powerful projects in the space, just based on the fact that it's so undervalued and the fundamentals are so strong. Now they have Props 2.0 protocol staking coming out. This is in the first half of 2021, so it's going to be very soon. So essentially you can stake your tokens against the platform that you love to use. Think of it this way: people can own a stake of the network, and then on top of that stake it on the platform or app they use and earn rewards based on that. There's not many projects that can have different utilities across other platforms because they're dedicated to one app. So the incentive changes and the utility changes based on different apps. So it's endless. Tega is the first app that implements a burn mechanism, so you can burn a certain amount of tokens. The utility on you now is different from the others. It affects your level directly. You get discounted packages for microtransactions. Transitioning to full community governance, self-service tools to enable any app to join, and a community grants program. So you can tell marketing is going to continue to ramp up as we get to the end of the year. With staking coming out, people have incentive to hold. Transitioning to a full community governance basically makes it decentralized. Now this is the key thing here, and this is why I believe it will eventually get listed on Coinbase. This is of course speculative, but this is what I have in mind. I think once they become decentralized, they'll eventually go on Coinbase. Now, for those that know Blockstack has now lost its Reg A title. Basically means Regulation A labels it as a security according to the SEC, but it's an approved security. So when it becomes decentralized, like Blockstack, so Blockstack had Stacks 2.0, so it lost its title and now it can go on to centralized exchanges. I think they recently listed on OKX, but I think Blockstack will eventually list on Coinbase as well. I guess we'll find out in the near future. However, it's been pumping pretty heavy. I hope you guys spotted that seed phrase within this video. For those that don't know what's going on, for the next 12 videos I'm going to be revealing a seed phrase in each clip. If you haven't seen a previous video, make sure you check it out. I'm going to be giving away everything that's in this wallet, so whoever's the lucky person that unlocks it, I'm going to be giving away one seed phrase per video for the next 12 videos. So if you unlock it, everything in this wallet is yours. So we have $66 worth of ETH and $637 worth of mod. Make sure you smash that like button, leave a comment, and put channel notifications on so you're the first person to click on these videos and try and spot seed phrases. Compile it, it's sort of like a scavenger hunt sort of game. And yeah, make sure you join the Telegram group for Modify in the description if you want to keep up with any updates. And for those that don't know, I'm the Chief Marketing Officer for Modify, and I'll continue to support the project. And if you also want to join my group, make sure you do so by clicking the link in the description. And I'll see you guys soon. Peace.